All right, everybody. We are live with student producer Alberto Lopez and our special guest, Zach Logan. I am going to be quiet and let you take this away, Alberto, with the intro.
Okay. Welcome to Power Your Story podcast by high school students in Chicago with the support of After School Matters and the Creative Imposter Studios. So, here today is me, Alberto, and our guest, Zach Logan, the host and founder of the One Piece podcast. Would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
That's basically it. Yeah, I'm Zach. Great to be here. The crazy fact that I keep thinking about is I think you're the same age as our podcast is around, but it's really awesome. I mean, first of all, young One Piece fans, you're who One Piece is for, like literally is who it is written for. So it's great to see and great to hear. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's nothing else about myself other than it's great to be here.
All right. So, I have a question for you. Why
Yeah.
do you love One Piece? What is what do you like about it?
So I don't want to even jump the gun because I know you sent me, or in the email you originally sent me, you said something like the podcast is great to have just to like listen to other people having the conversation to feel like you're talking to friends. And for me, One
Yeah.
Piece was that even before the podcast, like I wouldn't stop talking about it with friends, and that's why I needed an outlet to do it so I could talk at people, I guess, but also with
Yeah.
people. um what One Piece, the things that gravitated me toward it are, I think the mysteries is the first thing that's popping into my head. I really love just like the deep world building and plot and characterization of the series. The fact that it's like so accessible to I know it's very long, but it is very like I've been describing it as like a very serious core covered by like a candy coated,
Yeah.
fun shonen, fighting
I mean,
series.
Oda's a
Like
good writer.
Oda's a great writer. I think it is the writing that probably like really hooked me
Yeah.
in. Yeah. It's the short answer. The short long answer. Yeah.
Okay. Why did you want to create the One Piece podcast? Well,
I
I
did
mean,
jump the
you
gun.
kind of already said it. Yeah. All
No,
right.
yeah. No,
Um.
I could go on though. You tell me when to stop talking.
All
um
right. All right.
Uh, I wanted, but so my roommate at the time, Ed, and I started the podcast back in 2009. And the reason, as I mentioned, is just because I couldn't stop talking about it. I needed to talk about it, and it really became this like vehicle to like meet community and friends. And the reason I'm still doing it 17 years later is because like the groomsmen at my wedding were all, podcast folks. And One Piece is a series about connection and like how even in different circumstances and different sorts of people around the world, are able to connect. It's been really cool living that out.
All right. Um. Like, do you have any like a favorite part of podcasting, or like no?
Favorite part of podcasting specifically? Um, I I don't know. I enjoy how, as I think the world has figured out, it is very accessible. Um, I think to succeed at it, I've always said the two things that you need, first of all, you want to be audible and, like just like having the tech down, which isn't these days is not very difficult. And just like a set time that you will always do it. And also a niche. Like at the time, One Piece was not as popular as it is, not even close. Like the reason I started it, again, to answer your second question, is because no one was talking about it, and I needed to talk about it with someone. So, um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now, favorite characters. I have to go with Zoro. I just think he's like tough and all. But then my second favorite character has to be Luffy. He's just goofy all the time and everything. Do you have any
It's a
favorite characters
cop
in One Piece?
it's a cop out, but I also say Luffy. Like these things also like depend on my time of day, you know? Like it could
Yeah.
be different every day. Well, like besides the Straw Hats, who's your favorite?
Let's see. So there's Odin. There's. I'm
The
gonna have
Tenyu
to
from the live
say
action is Odin, I think. So that's you'd be in good company there too. But sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
for
Go ahead.
real.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think you said Odin was his favorite.
there's a lot. I'm gonna say Katakuri.
Good
I just like
answer.
his whole vibe and all, and like he protected his family. That's valid. That's a valid reason. And
Yeah, I
well, I mean, some cases. Mm,
sorry, did you have more? I didn't mean to cut you off if
oh no.
I
You have
no,
favorite?
I agree with I mean my favorite so I ask 5 questions. I don't know if for like new guests, so I'm like accidentally doing
Yeah.
that with you. Because favorite straw hat would be Luffy. Favorite non-straw hat. Katakuri is a great answer because he's someone I like. It's easy to forget because he hasn't been in the main story for a little bit, but
Yeah.
he's like the opponent that you respect, like someone you disagree, or not even someone you disagree with, someone you have to like confront, even though you're not you agree and you're kind of on the same level as them. Um,
Yeah.
but Kuzan or Aokiji is usually my answer to that
Ooh,
because he's
Kuzan.
awesome. His design's awesome. He's
Yeah.
awesome, and he's speaking of mystery, like always curious, constantly curious what's going on with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
like Aokiji.
He's
All
great.
right. So, when like in One Piece, when you're watching, do you like what are your emotions during certain scenes? Like for example, when did you watch the Kaido fight yet? Yeah. So
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
Luffy versus Kaido, like what did you feel during that moment? Because there's certain scenes where like, oh yeah, this is funny, but then it's like emotional, like when Ace died.
So, I mean, that's what I love about One Piece. Like, I don't. So, how caught up are you in everything too? I don't want to, you know,
Right.
spoil
So
or
I haven't
encroach.
finished the entire show because I don't really have that much time on my hands because like I have a
I
time
get
limit
it.
for electronics. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
even if you
I'm
didn't, I get it.
I yeah, I'm on Whole Cake Island right now, on 7, but I also watch ahead clips on like TikTok, YouTube, different platforms, right? So I've seen way ahead of everything. I've learned so much about the history of the 100 years, the Joy Boy, and I'm not even on that part yet. So I'm like, dang, I just spoiled it for myself. But yeah, I'm on Whole Cake.
Have you read it?
Huh?
The
I'm trying to
the
get
manga?
online to read the mangas, but I can't find them.
I could send that to you. I'm happy to do that because it's legal and free. And I'm sorry, it's like $3 a month, but I'll send you our info. It's fine. Because you could read as many chapter well as for as long as you can. You could read as many chapters as you want. That's like the way I tell people to get into the series because it's like the quickest and it's cleanest. It's just what Oda
Yeah.
wrote. Um, the
Uh,
Kaido fight, like I think that's what you described is kind of like emblematic of how One Piece is. So
mhm.
it's the candy coated. So the stuff you like, the funny like wacky stuff. I mean, Gear 5, for example, is like Looney Tunes,
Yeah, it
a
was fun.
cartoon character come to life, which is great. I think
Yeah.
that is, but it's also really just so cool. Just like on a level, you're like, oh, this is also really just this is great. I'm trying not to spoiler either. This is awesome. And that plus the wackiness is One Piece. Like that's or for like I don't know how much you've like read about like Chopper's flashback. Like I think just that, like a really wacky thing with this very sad, serious, poignant, and impactful moments in it and story in it is that's
Oh, the
the thing I
doctor.
think that's really cool about One Piece. Yeah.
Yeah, they usually have crazy switch ups too. Like so, like when Pedro died, but it was sad because he just blew himself up for them. But then
Yeah.
he just they go onward, and now if he was still alive, and they've gone so far, he's like, what will happen now?
Yeah, I mean,
But
also Oda
now I
used
want to
to.
talk about.
Oh, go ahead, go. I want to hear what you want to talk about.
No, no,
Sorry.
I want to hear you speak.
No, I was just gonna
No, no, go
say
ahead. It's fine.
that for Pedro, well, Oda used to really not want to kill off his characters in like the first
Yeah.
half of the series, and it's something he's been doing more. But I think it also gives it more impact when it does happen because he was so reluctant to do it. Yeah, go ahead. What was now? I want to
Yeah.
hear though what you were passionate.
Okay, so I want to talk about mysteries because there's a
Okay.
lot of mysteries in One Piece that people have kind of like not uncovered and kind of uncovered. I want to hear what mysteries you have been working on lately.
So like what we've been trying to get to the bottom of, or like what
Yeah.
is what's bothering me specifically. Alberto? Oh, sorry.
Like mysteries that like you have tried to uncover, but you have a hard time trying to because of like maybe not enough hints within the story,
Mm.
or like or mysteries you find interesting.
So the thing I've noticed about Oda is that he really likes red herrings. He tries to like really throw a gigantic wrench into whatever you think is the answer. Usually, I mean, sometimes it's easy to predict, but most of the time it's not. So like you're talking about like the Joy Boy stuff, like I, you know,
Mhm.
I was just talking about when we recorded last night and we were like talking about like, oh, what if the devil fruits literally carry the will of the former users of them? Because Joy Boy, well, I guess if you saw the Kaido fight, like Joy Boy supposedly may have had the devil fruit that Luffy has. So we don't know this,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if he did, what would that look like, and how would narratively? So that's the one. I mean, that's one we discussed like literally last night. Um, there's so many. We're getting toward the end though, so this we're like
Yeah.
it's been weird kind of getting answers because he's so not into giving them up until this point. He's so like it's almost like
Uh-huh.
do you like the answers to what you see or not? Like you actually have to have an opinion on you know what ends up happening.
Yeah. I have like two mysteries I've been trying to figure out. Because you know how like devil fruit users can't swim, right?
Yeah.
None of them have died from not being able to swim. And I feel like that's a big drawback, right? Because you're a pirate, you're sailing the seas, you're going everywhere. It's always on the ocean. So that's a big drawback for not being able to go in. But no one has died from it. Luffy's had multiple encounters with the sea, hasn't died from it, or even has like serious injuries, right? I want to know, is Oda trying to like do something to like use that later on in the story as like a drawback? Because Emu, you know how Emu his name, so his name, her, or whatever they are, named backward, it's Umi, which means sea or ocean. And I think that has a huge thing in it because ocean, you can't swim, Devil Fruit users, and Emu also has something to go with Joy Boy, and Joy Boy had the first Devil Fruit, which is, I don't know, it's just a good mystery I want to keep like trying to figure out.
There's a lot I want to say, but I don't want to spoil you. So when I will send you the
No, that's
info,
fine. You can
so
spoil
you
it.
could do. No, I don't want to right now. I'll just, but not that I even know answers, but I just like the little things that you said that have been like kind of addressed a little bit. Um, I agree with you though. Like I think the most obvious things or things he's saving. This is on my mind right now because like my friends showed me this really, really ridiculous theory about Emu secretly being a parrot and that's what his thing is on the top of his head. Which
A
we have
parrot.
no proof, which I think is hilarious. It is, but also it's One Piece and it totally could be something ridiculous
Yeah.
like that. Like, because there hasn't been any parrot in
Mhm.
the series about pirates, and that also feels very obvious, you know? Like, I don't, it
Yeah.
probably is not the answer. Like, it's probably just a really funny fan theory out there. But like those kind of things that it's like, oh, this really, obvious thing hasn't happened. I'm like, you're right. And I agree with you with the devil fruit thing. Like, it is kind of weird that we haven't seen anyone sink. Like, not even die, but like the only person I think maybe Vanderdecken from Fishman Island, who is not a character I like, who might be at the bottom of the sea somewhere, but he's
Well,
also
yeah,
a fish
because he was trying
person.
to kill Shirahoshi.
Right. Okay, so you see,
Oh yeah,
Um
yeah. That's my thing. Fish,
Go
with the
ahead.
fish
Sorry.
people. I don't know. Like if they all have, because Vanderdecken, right? He went underneath the ocean, right? But he didn't just necessarily
Get the
die, right?
bubble.
He died because
Um Tied because he got
yeah,
punched really hard. Probably. Um
yeah,
yeah, I don't know what happened to him. I don't like him, as I said, but it was always like back in the day. It was always like, what happens if a fish person has a devil
yeah.
fruit? But wouldn't it just be that they're stuck on the bottom of the floor, the sea floor, and they don't have any powers? Like potentially, like they'll be
Well, yeah, because he
fine.
can't swim anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I think it's more
There's
that you
also
just
okay.
sink. Like Luffy just couldn't swim. That was also one of the
Yeah,
issues he
because
had at the beginning, separate of
yeah, because
from the
he's
devil
devil
fruit.
for you.
No, but before
Yeah,
that, he was just a kid who couldn't swim,
but
which I think they were all making fun of him about it at the
yeah.
time. And then he's like, "Don't make
Uh
fun."
huh.
And then yeah. And then he had a devil fruit, and he really couldn't double down.
Uh huh.
You could go ahead with the next
All right.
question, though.
So
Yeah.
there's also. Oh, all right.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
think there's a delay. I think that's probably
My
why.
ring light.
Yeah,
Go
there's a
ahead.
little bit of a delay on the internet connection side, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's because my ring light just cut out, so
Oh.
I'm not gonna have much
You're
light.
good.
But
It's mood lighting. It's
so there's also this thing I want to ask you about this. Okay, so there's this mystery I want to see. Okay, so you know how Laugh Tale is like the final island with the One Piece and stuff, all right? And you know how like there's a map with a skull, and the left eye is missing. Yeah,
map with
as
the.
you can
Wait, I'm trying
see,
to remember
almost every scar on the face.
which map with the skull. That's why I was trying to remember what you're talking about.
I don't know. I don't know the name of it. It's because I remember watching a clip of it, and I was looking into it online. I'm like, okay, well, let's see this, and then I'm like, wait, left eye. Oh, here, let me search it up, because I'm having a little problem right now.
No, you're good. I was just trying to. Well, like there's the stuff in Jaya and Skypiea with that too. What was it? So I'm just making sure it's not that.
Yeah. Okay. So while I'm trying to find it,
Don't even worry about
okay,
it. It's
here
not a big deal. You could show me after
um.
if you want.
Okay, so I was like, okay, since left eye is missing, right? And Zoro has a missing left eye. There's always a scar. Shanks has a scar on his eye. My Blackbeard. Luffy has a scar underneath his eye. Dragon has a tattoo on his eye. A whole bunch of people have scars right on their left eye. Eustace Kid. All of
This
them.
kid has a
And
lot of
I'm thinking,
scars.
well, maybe this has a connection because Oda
Yeah.
he usually doesn't make the things that obvious. So we probably wouldn't think it, but that's probably what he's trying to do. He's probably like, okay, well they won't think this obvious, but it's gonna be obvious because he
Oh,
usually
I
wants to like,
see.
okay, so he switch up our minds, make us think a little bit.
So,
Yeah, because
so what?
and they say that's what
So
laughter is.
how does that connect to Laugh Tale? I think that's a cool connection.
Okay,
I'm just trying to, yeah.
yeah. So I'm thinking that laugh till is right there, and no one really knows it's right there because no one's ever been to the island, but it's a map, and but apparently Laugh Tale is not mapped out. So like
Right.
I'm thinking it could be a connection to Laugh Tale. Maybe not because all the left eye scars and stuff. That's just my theory.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen the left eye thing maybe once, and it's a good part of me wants to be skeptical and be like, well, Oda's a lefty, so everything goes on the left. But it is a good
Yeah.
point. Like, it is kind of weird that all of those major characters have something going on the left side of their face. Um, that's the thing. When Oda answers these questions, sometimes it's like, yes, I had a 30-year plan where I was going to do this and I planned it the whole time. And sometimes it's like, I just, it's something I did or I made a mistake and I forgot to. So it's like there's a 50-50 on that.
Yeah.
I I do really like the idea that it is hidden in plain sight. Like, I think that that makes a lot of sense. I mean, it kind of goes to what you were saying before about like the devil fruit thing and sinking. Like, I think Oda's favorite things
Yeah.
are usually like, oh, it was there the whole time and you just weren't looking correctly. Those are always fun ways to solve a puzzle. Um,
Yeah.
mhm.
All right. Um. Okay. So some question I want to ask is, do you what do you hope One Piece will become later on? What do you hope it will like eventually achieve to be?
The story or the community? Because I have different answers or both.
Uh.
Um,
Both. Yeah, both.
I'll start with the story. Um, I hope that it is so hard for really any like long running story to like stick the landing. Um, and I really hope it does it in a satisfying way. That might be like a simple answer, but like I don't know. There are so many ways it could be unsatisfying. So, but and also like the expectations that you might have going into it could, you know, you're like, oh, I want this to happen. And then if that doesn't happen, some of it is on me. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want all of the mysteries answered. I want most of them answered though. Like I do like the idea of some of them being like leave it up to the reader to like figure it out. Like the giant like eyes or
Yeah.
whatever at the end of Thriller Bark. Um like is a
Uh
very
huh.
weird one that has never I like kind of been answered, but like he's like he knows that people want to know that and it bothers me. But I think I would also be
Yeah.
fine if that never gets answered. But I need to know what the One Piece is. And he said before that it is not like friendship or the
Definitely.
journey. Yeah. So that's a big deal. Also, I don't want it to be like a pot of gold or something. Like that's kind of lame too. So like what is I,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do
No.
I do
Duh.
want
Because Goldwatch is everything.
I yeah, exactly. Everything he left there. And like I know but it's very cliche to say the journey is what's important. So like to the community aspect of it, like the journey, even if it ends really badly,
Yeah.
like it has been an amazing journey for him in almost 30 years, which is crazy. Um, Obviously it would kind of put a sour taste in my mouth if it like ended really badly, but I'm telling myself that at least right now. So I'm hopeful. I need to know what the One Piece is. I want to know more about the history of the world. Like that's a big one. and like get a real flashback
Yeah.
with like Joy Boy and Emu and that stuff. And then even before that, because there's like stuff we've been hinted at from thousands of years ago in this series instead of just like 8,000 years
Yeah.
ago. And that kind of stuff I love. So I want to hear more about that. And then if
I love Davy Jones, the history of him too, like the theories.
yeah, I want to hear more about that. We don't know very much about him at all. And that's another obvious, like, oh, what's a pirate thing that Oda hasn't done yet that like or really like expanded on? You know, we haven't seen a guy with an eye patch. We haven't like just like let's
Yeah.
think of all the stereotypes we have with pirates and which ones haven't been filled. Those are
Yeah,
probably
the
going to come back at the
Yari
end.
and the little hooks in their hands.
Yeah, Blackbeard has, I think, is supposed to have a little of that, and he has a beard now. He didn't have a beard really at the beginning.
Yeah.
So that's nice. But when the more of that we see, I'll know we're getting closer to the end too. So yeah.
All right. So my last question is, what, like, I don't know how to say it. It's like a broad question. What do you think fans would think if Luffy died?
Oh, I've thought about
Like,
that
what do
a
you
lot.
think the surrounding things would be?
Well, everyone does die. So like eventually in the story, well, I guess he could live forever. It's Luffy. But I think that I mean a lot of the story I think Oda is setting up is like the next generation taking over. So I'm assuming you haven't seen much of Elbaf yet, but there's a lot of plot there about like the next generation. And I think Oda's been like really planting the seeds for that. And I think,
Yeah.
the series, I don't know if you've seen like I don't know why Gurren Lagann is the one popping into my mind, but other there are some really great series that handle the subject of like the main character dying as like the inherited will kind of thing, which is a huge theme in One Piece. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll like see Luffy die, but I think the main
I want
I'm
to see
sorry, the
that.
next generation taking over, is like kind of really an important part of like the not repeating history, but growing
Yeah.
from it. I think is a huge theme in the series. So like,
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, I don't think Luffy's gonna die again. I guess he died with Kaido briefly. Like,
Well, yeah.
I also don't think we're not like getting like a Dragon Ball thing. I don't think I could be wrong, and I could be wrong very soon. But I don't think he's gonna like die and go to like an afterlife or that sort of thing. But like, I don't know. Luffy's like too iconic, I think, for Oda too. Like, I think Oda sees Luffy as like an extension of himself. So I don't really know if he could kill himself off. Is probably how he looks at it.
I don't want to see Luffy die. I
No,
already
me
cried when
neither.
Ace died. I don't want to see Luffy die.
Yeah, and Whitebeard too. That whole thing was brutal, and also every flashback character that's like is gonna not survive that is even. But
Uh-huh.
I don't know. That would be emotional, and he does love doing gut punches like that. So possible.
We do have
Yeah.
one viewer question in the comments for people who are totally new to One Piece, who've never read it, never watched it, anything like that. Jalea wants to know, is One Piece a good anime to watch and why? And I would love to have both of you give your recommendation as to why someone should start.
You go first.
Okay, so One Piece is a really good anime. You should definitely watch it. But if you're a starter to watching anime, I don't think it's the right anime to start watching because there's a lot of things that could like I don't know, not like you really wouldn't understand unless you watched a starter anime, because there's animes for beginners. There's also animes for people who are like, anime geeks, like they know they know like this and that. But if you want to watch One Piece, yeah, I think you should watch it. Um, why is it good? I'd say because the art style, the connections it has to the real world, um, there the interesting storylines, the history of characters, how characters grow within the story from the beginning to end. I think it's a good, has good character development, and yeah,
Yeah, I agree with the it is the thing that stops people from getting into it. It's that it's 1100 episodes right now, the anime. Yeah. And I mean they also there's the
yeah,
live action, which is only like a dozen plus episodes, probably like 20. There are a lot of avenues to get into it in a shorter time frame. However, the one thing I always say is with One Piece is yes, there's a lot, but once you finish, you're like, how is that it? I want more. That's all there is. Which is such a rare,
yeah,
yeah, which is such a rare feeling to get from any media, particularly one as long as that. I think for anime fans, I should. What are you waiting for? You should read it or watch it. Um, in some capacity, there are many, so you could choose yours. Everyone's different. Like, there's a reason why like Netflix and stuff will have a thing that like, oh, if you enjoy X, you'll really enjoy Y. But there is a lot to choose. Like One Piece is a series that has a running plot, but also has like 50 different stories within it. Like, so even if you don't like one thing, you'll like another thing. um i I think it could work as a starter anime. Like the beginning is great. It was made in the late 90s, early 2000s though. Like, which to me is
yeah,
like very,
1999.
yeah, which for me is very nostalgic. I wonder, like, though, how everyone in, I guess, Gen Alpha, like, would view. I have kids in Gen Alpha too, who are like how they view something with that sort of age to it. I mean, I love stuff from way before I was born too, though. Like, there's definitely like a when it comes to manga and anime, obviously other stuff too, but there's 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 still a nostalgia to it, even though I wasn't alive in the 70s. Like I could be like, oh, this still has a like nostalgic quality to it. So I think you could enjoy it no matter what. It's your mentality going in and what you're into.
Alberto, any closing questions or anything you want to wrap up with from Zach before we close it out?
Oh, can you repeat that? I can't really hear you.
Oh, sorry. I think your internet might be glitching a little bit, but any closing questions you want to ask Zach before we close it out and say goodbye?
Uh, did you enjoy this?
Yeah, good question. Yeah. So have you listened to us before? It's okay if not. I don't know actually how you guys found us and all that.
Huh. Yeah, I've listened to like I've watched from the beginning. I didn't watch from the top. I had to scroll all the way to the bottom because there's like 900 something episodes that you guys made. So I had to scroll all the way
Uh-huh.
to the bottom.
Wait, you
I'm like, okay,
started
I'm
at the
gonna watch it.
beginning?
Yeah.
Oh, you're brave. I was so little and I was like only a couple years older than you when I started that. Oh no. It's
I
still
mean,
there?
it's interesting to watch, because well, thinking about it, you now talking, you sound way different from when you were like that on the first episode.
I think my voice is higher pitched maybe. I don't remember. Yeah, I definitely do. I don't like the sound of my own voice. I'm a podcaster. I don't get how that works, but um yeah, that's such a different time, and we didn't have the technology and all the things I recommended I did not do. So I hope you enjoy those. 2009 time capsules. And Impel Down. This is a very fun time to start, though. Speaking of the Ace stuff, like that was
Yeah.
fun, and very emotional. And you could see what the community was like 17 years ago. It was very different and tiny, very tiny.
Zach, any last thoughts that you have for us or for One Piece fans out there who may be learning about your show for the first time through us or anything like that?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's really crazy and awesome to see, like, I know we have listeners who are like in their 60s, so like that is not the common. I think you're probably closer to the average age, but like it has really just been so awesome to see One Piece connect the world. I mean, as you mentioned, in like real life issues, we've been seeing One Piece like show up more and more, and there's just such important um and really like hard to approach topics in the series that in such a digestible way. So I'm like really happy to see that. It's also awesome, as Alberto has mentioned, with just the animation, particularly over the last like 5 to 7 years, has been just top notch. It's a great series. Jump in wherever. I think the beginning is the best place, but like don't be afraid to jump in. And for us, don't jump in at the beginning.
All right. Alberto, do you want to start the outro?
All right.
Do you have it?
May you repeat that, or can you?
Yeah, can you see the outro on the screen?
Yes. Okay. Power Your Story podcast is produced by Chicago high school students with the production support from After School Matters and the Creative Imposter Studio. Thank you to Zach Logan of the One Piece podcast for joining us today for this episode, and thank you to the rest of the crew for creating your show.
No, thank you.
I'm thankful that this was able to be arranged, and I had a good time. I hope you did as well. This episode was produced and hosted by me, Alberto Lopez. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Power Your Story Podcast, and visit our website at poweryourstorypodcast.com. Thank you for listening, and remember, mysteries are meant to be discovered.
All right. Bye.